Скажи, у тебя есть какие-то воспоминания с этих лет?
Ну, как тебе сказать, те воспоминания никакие не имела, потому что когда закончилась война, мне было 2 года. Понимаешь как? Я все это говорю со слов родителей. Они рассказывали, что там было.
А это была открытая тема в вашей семье?
Очень хорошо, что ты задал этот вопрос. Что я да помню, когда я была ребенком, даже 5-6 лет, постоянно мои родители говорили, чтобы я никому не рассказывала, что мы были в гетто. Это было очень опасно для нашей семьи. Поэтому эта тема даже не поднималась.
То есть дома не было разговора об этом?
Когда я стала старше, когда мне было 5-6 лет, говорили, если тебя спросят, не были ли в гетто, говори, не знаю. А когда я стала старше, так вот это все мне уже рассказывали. Уже когда я понимала больше, где-то в 7-8 лет, мне начали рассказывать. My childhood was perfect when I was an only child before your mom appears in my life. But compared with other kids, my father, not they were rich, but they were good enough that with money, and my mom knew how to save money, so I was dressed nicely. I had good clothing. I had my own room, pink bed, pink cover. Everything was for me. Food, the clothing, everything was around me.
So you would describe it as a happy childhood?
Yes, absolutely happy, absolutely happy. Compared to other kids, but other kids didn't know any better. And I could compare that my life was perfect. And then my sister appears in the horizon, and then everything was shifted. All the attention was toward her because she got sick very easily, almost every month.
How old were you when she was born, Mom?
I was 10.
Having raised your kids here, would you wish that they had the childhood you had over there? Do you think?
It's a good question. I don't know if you can mimic the same childhood. I had loving parents. They looked good together. Everybody told me you had good-looking, tall parents, and I was very proud of them. My mom was a beautiful woman. My father looked like men usually look like after military service. So I was happy. I had everything I needed. Что рассказать о себе? Я ребенком помню, что у меня было всего 3 платья, и из них одно было выходное. У меня была одна кукла, причем она была с оторванной головой и без платья. Мама каким-то образом пришила эту куклу к туловищу и из какой-то тряпочки сделала платье. К чему я хочу это сказать? Мы, живя там, не знали другую жизнь. Поэтому не комплексовали. Какие были условия, так мы и жили. И я не знала, например, что надо иметь много кукол, много игр и все. И, например, даже как ребенок довольствовалась тем, что имела. У нас был общий двор. Поэтому дети много общались и веселились вместе. Даже устраивали концерты и звали наших родителей на концерты. То есть в каких условиях мы жили, тем и наслаждались. Я многим рассказывала, я это очень хорошо помню, что мама мне дала 1 рубль, а мороженое стоило 9 копеек. Так я решила маме тоже купить. И я несла копейки и мороженое, оно у меня таяло. Мама мне ничего не сказала, только поцеловала меня и сказала: «Спасибо, доченька». Вот такие моменты запоминаются на всю жизнь. Понимаешь, мы не знали, я в частности, как ребенок, что есть такая страна, как Америка, где так хорошо живут. Это уже с годами, что есть страны, где красивая природа, то все. Когда я уже стала в школе учиться и стала читать, так я получила расширенные знания.
Now, having grown up in such an anti-Semitic country, were you aware that existed around you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I was a child, the boy, the neighbor, he told something to me. He came over and he took chalk, white chalk, and he drew a swastika on the back of my coat. It had like fur coat, very polished fur coat my mother brought to me. So he drew it. And his father was kind of, I don't know, some very high position in the police department or something like that. So my father wasn't scared of him. He came over to him. He took him like this. He never left traces on the skin or anything. He took him like this and said, "You motherfucker," in Russian, of course. I mean, I don't care who your father is. Next time you come over to my girl, I'm going to kill you and nobody will find you, okay? It's understood? He said, yes, sir, yes. And I never see him on my horizon again. That was when I was little. I was like 6 or 7 years old. Of course, I hated this country because of that, because all of them, they hated us from the very beginning they were born. They knew exactly, my parents didn't look Jewish, never, but they knew exactly we were Jewish.
Now, this was when you were younger. As you got older and you became more aware, how did your perception, your understanding of the situation change as a Soviet Jew? That you were a Soviet Jew?
Imagine, my father and I, we came to register for my college. And I brought all my papers, my gold medal certificate, all certificate that I won Olympic game in math, in English, whatever. And that guy took my papers. He wrote down everything that I brought to him. And he said, this is a list of your papers in case you're not going to get accepted. And he knew it for sure that I would not get accepted. You will take all your papers back using this list. So he knew for sure that it's not going to happen, that I will get accepted to that particular university, that particular group. And my father was sitting like this, and I saw that one more word from that guy, he's gonna punch him, because he used to do boxing. One more word for that, because I was almost cry. I almost cried. And when it was over, because my father pulled all strings to have me accepted to that college, and he said, don't worry, don't even look at him, don't pay attention to him, he's nobody, he's nothing, he's just Moldavian piece of shit. And everything will be fine with you. Everything is taken care of. It doesn't matter what he's saying. And when I got accepted, my father was staying behind the glass wall like this, and I told him, when I look at that list of who got accepted, he was looking like this behind the glass wall, and he was almost crying. My mom lost her consciousness at work when somebody told her, because it was so important.
You know, it's kind of hard to imagine. When you graduated college, you were married, you had a daughter and a son on the way. How did you manage that? Was that planned? How did you get through your college years with a family, essentially?
Never was planned for me. We never planned anything. Even now, when I'm almost 60, I usually don't plan, because nothing happens when you plan. I don't know, because we had the ability to have free attendance as long as you pass all your exams. You got the grade, whatever, to pass those exams, you'll be fine. So I started really high. I learned really hard. I was on Dean's list in the beginning. And then I got married, and then Ada was born. So of course it was like the grades went down. So I graduated.
What in the world was motherhood like at that age for you?
It was mother like mother. I mean, every mother. My kids went to, the way I was born, that kids need sea air every single year. So we didn't have money. Every time I took my engagement ring and my husband's ring, and we put it in pawn shop. So we got the money. For this money, we took our kids to Odessa. They spent a month there. And it was very expensive for us. And then we came back, and we had enough money, or we borrowed money to take our rings back. One day, we didn't have money. One day, we didn't buy them back. But yeah, it was, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I was a better mother or worse mother. I was a mother. Look at my kids. I mean, they grew up. A little bit of scars here and there, though. But I mean, it's possible with every age.
How old were you when you had Ada?
20.
I'm 20.
Yes, I had Ada when I was 20. I was 22 when I had Jan. It doesn't matter because when you're young, you're healthy, and when you're healthy, you deliver healthy kids. What happens here in United States? It's too sad that girls have to graduate college, they have to buy their own place, and then when they're in their 30s, they don't have enough time to pay. They don't have enough healthy kids, and then complications start. So it's pros and cons when you're young. I was planning to leave when I was a little girl. I was telling stories to the girls in the yard I used to play that I'm going to America and I have an aunt there because after I read the what's the name of the Хижня дяди Тома? What's the name of the famous book?
Oh, Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Absolutely, yes, Uncle Tom's Cabin. I was reading that book, and I was under huge impression of that book. And I said, I'm going to my aunt. I imagine that there is my aunt, and that she has a huge house, and that she's waiting for me. And I was telling those tales to my friends when I was playing with when I was a child. And when I got accepted to college, unfortunately, the profession I chose, it was a possibility to have internship on a plant. They had like a restricted access for some staff, and then in the future I wouldn't be allowed to leave the country. And the very first day they asked me if I have relatives somewhere abroad, and I said, of course I do. I have plenty of relatives in the United States, which of course I didn't. And they never sent me for internship on this plant because KGB was looking very closely at this time.
So when we came, during the time in '89, the immigration process would be either to you either had to go through Austria for a few weeks and then they would move you to Italy, and then based on what the response of that consulate or that embassy or whatever, then you'll go to either United States, or you can go to Israel, or you can go to South America?
Africa.
South Africa, yes.
Or Israel. Did you mention Israel?
I did, yes.
Or Australia. Did Australia accept Jewish immigrants at the time?
I don't know. I think you had to have like a certain invitation from there.
So, in other words, when we were leaving, this is from what I heard from our parents' stories, you really didn't know what country you would end up in because we were leaving on refugee status.
Yes, we were running away from the regime.
From the government.
So you were political refugees.
Yes. So actually, we managed to go through Austria very quickly. It was like a 2-week stay. And then we stayed in Rome for 3 months, the Roman holiday. That's what I like to call it.
For 3 months?
For 3 months, like actually day to day. We came in on June 5th and we left on September 5th. They put us in a hotel, and it was on the outskirts of Rome.
Our dad sold tools.
So before we left, there was talk. People talking that whenever you're in Rome, if you need money to get by, you can sell certain things. You can sell watches, you can sell объективы, как бы.
Camera lenses.
Camera lenses, yes, thank you. So, people were bringing suitcases, running away from the government. So we didn't really buy anything extra because we didn't really have money, but we had a whole suitcase full of our dad's tools because he was a very handy man. So at one point we decided, Papa said, okay, this is 2 sets, you can sell them. So Mom and I went to this little market and, we took them out, these 2 little screwdriver sets, and it started pouring so heavily that we needed to run back to our hotel. And that was the end of our selling story.
Up until this point, what did you hear about America? What did you know? What did you read? What did the government tell you? How did you imagine this place to be?
From the books only. And they didn't tell me anything good about this country. But to be honest with you, I never listened to them. I knew this BS, whatever they were saying, I never listened. I had my own opinion about that, and I knew for sure I wanted to emigrate. The only delay for emigration was my husband because he never served in army.
Was there any propaganda that was discouraging you from coming here?
Absolutely, yeah, there were. The capitalist world, they're ruthless. The American people are not secure. They're always unemployed, which is partially true, because in Soviet Union, you went to work, and you were never scared that somebody would let you go. Every day doesn't matter how you work. It was partially true. It was actually not partially. This is the world, but this is the capitalist world. So if they let you go, you were laid off, you pick yourself and you move on. You find yourself another job. That's what happened to me all the time. And I never blamed the United States for the capitalist world because of that, so the strongest survives. The strongest survives. That is all.
And have either of you ever gone back and visited the motherland?
I have been once, and my sister went.
Many times, yeah.
She has her like.
I need my Odessa fix, you know? Would I live there? Probably not, because I'm different now. When I go back, they go, who is that weird American? What planet did she fall from? People can tell when you're from around there.
And so why go back?
That is such a good question. Because I still love it. I don't know. There's just something there. First of all, my aunt is there, my mom's sister. When our dad passed away, we buried him in Odessa as well. I guess that's the city where my parents grew up. You know, my dad was born there, and my mom came when she was in her teens. They walked those streets, you know? They knew them like they were the back of their hand, and the way that they are, the way that they were, and the way that they raised us to be, a lot of it has to do with that city and with the way that life was there.
Also, Odessa was always known as the capital of humor. They have like festivals on April 1st. Odessa is like a little.
It's like a universe.
It's like a little universe. Not so much now, but what it used to be. Yeah, it's a very interesting place.
I guess also one of the reasons, because I grew up here, I know life about there, not by personal experience, but by the stories of my family. My sister, my parents, my grandma. And I guess going back there, I kind of feel more connected, you know. Well, I walk these streets too.
So what about your grandchildren? Do you feel that they are more American?
Oh, they're American. They are American, no doubts about that.
Did you ever try to pass along elements of your culture to them?
I tried, but they don't want, they refuse it. They said, what's she saying? What's she asking? What? When I speak Russian to them, I don't understand what she's saying when I'm talking to them.
Do you ever fear that the Russian culture is going to die out 3 or 4 generations down? I do. Almost all of my friends are American, multiple generations American. I'm interested in American girls. Do you share this fear that our great-great-grandchildren are going to forget our culture?
Yeah, maybe. I don't have a fear. I just have an observation that it's going to die out.
That they're gonna, talk about their great-great-great-grandma, great-great-grandma Vela that came to America.
Yeah, they would. Like many Americans here, they would like, oh yeah, my grandmother came here from pogroms. That's what they're saying. That my grandmother, my great-great-grandmother came from Kishinev. God only knows where it's located. She came here with 2 suitcases for each person, and that's all. Of course they're gonna say that. But I don't care. It's gonna be dissolved, the whole culture. They're gonna become American. They're already become. My grandkids are American, so it's okay. It's fine. Every person who came to this country, their grandparents or great-grandparents came from somewhere. This is a country of immigrants. Doesn't matter what generation. So this is the way how it is. So my Russian culture will be dissolved, and maybe somebody will mention something, I don't know. My grandmother came from some place in Russia. I have no idea. I don't remember how this place is called. It's okay.
It's funny because no matter how much I try to distance myself from that culture, from my culture, I'm still afraid that my grandkids will know nothing of it, just remember absolutely nothing.
You're afraid? Yeah. But you know what? Nothing can be done, unfortunately. It's not that important. It's not that relevant for life. In my understanding, what is important is to stay healthy, to stay safe, to have peace in this country, to have a job in this country, to have money, to have food on the table. When it comes to culture, it's fine. It's fine. They can survive without Russian. It's helpful, like for my daughter's profession, psychology, because she's bilingual. She can do more work, more evaluations with with Russian-speaking junkies. But that's about it, I think. Yeah, it's okay. They don't know Dostoevsky. They can read Dostoevsky in English, and that's okay.